feeling when someone you really admire, maybe an actor or an artist, makes a huge mistake? It happens all the time, right? But what if the real story isn't about the mistake itself, but about everything that happens after? Today, we're going to unpack a really fascinating take on responsibility, influence, and the kind of education we might all be missing out on. Okay, so let's just jump right in. This whole conversation really kicked off because of a controversy around a pretty famous actor, Jo Jin-won. One of his past mistakes from when he was younger came to light, and it just started this huge public debate. But the source material we're looking at today asks a totally different question, a much deeper one than just, should we cancel him or not? So, this controversy is our starting point. It's a classic modern-day dilemma. But, according to the speaker in our source, we're all looking at the wrong part of the picture. The past mistake? That's just a symptom of a much bigger issue. And here's where the whole perspective flips. The argument is that the mistake itself, especially one from your youth, isn't the real problem. The real problem is the failure to look back on it, to really reflect and learn and grow from it. It's that lack of inner work that causes all the friction later on, especially when you're someone people look up to. And that brings us right to the heart of the matter. Public influence. See, this was never just about one actor. It's about what it even means to be a public figure, and the definition we're about to see is probably a lot broader than you think. The speaker defines a public figure, or gongin in Korean, as basically anyone who stands in front of other people. So this isn't just about being famous. We're talking politicians, professors, religious leaders, anyone with a platform. And here's the kicker. Their actions aren't just actions. They're a form of teaching for everyone else watching. And wow, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It shows the direct impact. When a person with influence gets angry in public, they're essentially giving everyone else permission to be angry too. When they complain, they're teaching us to complain. Their emotions literally set the tone for the rest of society. So what happens when all of society's leaders, all these public figures, are constantly setting that kind of example? Well, according to our source, you end up with a culture of dissatisfaction, basically a society of complainers. And the finger gets pointed right at the top. It's not just one group. It's when religious leaders, our academics, our politicians, and our celebrities are all out there complaining and blaming. Well, that creates a powerful echo that ripples through everyone. And this isn't some new thing that just popped up last year. The argument is that this has been the main way of doing things in public for decades now. It's been slowly shaping us into a society where our first instinct is just to complain, instead of, reflecting or trying to solve the problem. Okay, so here's where things get really challenging. This is where we have to turn the mirror around and look at ourselves. If the problem isn't just out there with the public figures, then where do our own personal problems, our own misfortunes, actually come from? I mean, really think about it for a second. When something bad happens to you, what's your first gut reaction? Is it to find someone or something else to point the finger at? Well, the perspective we're exploring offers a radically different and, frankly, tougher answer. All right, this is a really tough concept, so stick with me. The speaker uses this analogy. If you get scammed, the scammer is obviously wrong, but the hardship is yours. And that hardship, the argument goes, couldn't have happened if there wasn't some kind of cause inside of you, maybe a bit of greed, a lack of wisdom, something that left the door open for it. And he uses another difficult analogy to really drive this point home. A partner doesn't just wake up one day and leave out of the blue. The source claims it's the result of a long, slow buildup of moments where one or both people in the relationship just didn't fulfill their part of the deal. The big external event is seen as the final result of a long internal failure. So, if the root problem is this failure to look inward, to understand our own role in things, what in the world is the solution? Well, the speaker says it's a specific kind of education that modern society has pretty much forgotten about. To kind of show why we need a new way of learning, he compares the purpose of marriage across different time periods. Way back when, the main goal was just to have kids and continue the family line. But today, it's about partnership, dialogue, and growing together. That fundamental shift means we need a totally different set of skills. So what is this missing education? It's called social education. Now, don't think of it like getting another degree or more job training. It's more like an operating manual for life. It's not about what you know, but about how to use what you know correctly. It's about learning the fundamental principles of how to act so that you understand the true impact you have on the people around you. So the ideal path looks something like this. First, yeah, you go out and get your skills, your knowledge, your talents. But then comes the crucial step two. You get this social education, so you actually understand how to apply all that stuff for the good of everyone. It doesn't matter if you're CEO, an artist, or a parent. It's about understanding your role and using your gifts to fill that role properly. And this is the final mind-blowing takeaway that ties this whole thing together. The speaker claims this isn't just for famous people. Nope, he says that 100% of us are public figures. We are all celebrities who just haven't become famous yet. Every one of us has a sphere of influence, and we're all teaching by example, whether we know it or not. So that leaves us with one last really big question to chew on. If we accept that idea, that we're all leaders, all teachers in our own little worlds, then what does that social education look like for you? What are the principles you need to learn to use your unique gifts correctly and to really, truly fulfill your role in the world? That is a powerful thought to end on.